Markus, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Dan. Good to see you.
First of all, let's talk about Trybe and the business model overall. For our viewers who might not understand how it works, give us some insight into what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, ASEAN is a very unique, very fragmented market. You have 10 countries. You have a lot of different cultures, restrictions. And I think what we tried the last 2 years to figure out really what can we solve in ASEAN. And we went really deep into different countries. We went traveling to Thailand, Indonesia, spoke to many of the technology companies. We looked at more than 2,000 technology companies globally and spoke to many of the banks and other lending companies who are looking for technology. So what we do essentially at Trybe is we digitize at origin. We invest and acquire in growth stage global companies that want to either expand in ASEAN or want to come into ASEAN. And we as an investment holding company are providing that technology and helping the FIs and other banks in the region to digitize their credit flows.
So tell me how you brought this latest round together and what do you intend on doing with the cash?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great achievement by the team, and we've been working on this for some time. The four founders, the late Markus Gnirck, Nels Frieds, and Weven Yuan, and myself, been talking to MAKARA for actually 12 months now and see how we can provide a new way of funding. And MAKARA Innovation Fund has a very strong strategy on how to actually build strong IP platforms. They invested recently into MyRepublic last November, $13 million. I think MAKARA's and our vision of financial services is going to be a convergence. You see that consumers are looking for new ways of financial services, new ways of accessing banking. And you have telcos, banks, e-commerce companies, logistic companies, all coming in this fintech game now. And I think with MyRepublic's investment and what we are building with our fintech platform, we see that there's very strong synergies to really converge fintech into a broader ecosystem that goes beyond just the silos that we see right now happening in banking.
And the focus at Trybe is on these mid-market companies that you can acquire and develop. Do you have any acquisitions in the pipeline today?
Oh, plenty. I mean, it's been the last 2 years looking at different type of companies, and you find very much the hidden gems. And we looked at many startups. Singapore has now a strong ecosystem of more than 400 fintech startups. Globally, we count 10 of thousands. But we're looking more for the growth stage one. I call them tech SMEs, which you can see like 10, 15, 20 years old. They are single product companies, cloud-driven, API-driven, very much already at the frontier in what they do. But now they're looking for a new deployment, and ASEAN as a frontier market is really on their agenda and looking for local partners. So we acquire and we invest in these technology companies. We have strong networks globally in Western worlds and also in Asia. And then we help them to deploy with local partners, corporates, family offices in Southeast Asia to really build our infrastructure platform.
Okay, so the question that I have is, how hard is it to find those companies? And tell me about the process that actually goes into finding your acquisition targets, because I can imagine the competition out there would be seriously intense. You're not just competing with large corporates who want to bring those businesses into their own models, but you're also competing with private equity and governments as well. So how do you find them, and is the competition pretty tough?
Yeah, you have a lot of cash in the system. I mean, Southeast Asia has a lot of VC funding, venture capital funding for startups. We focus on a bit of a different aspect of it, and I think companies, particularly 10, 50, 20-year-old companies, growth stage companies, are looking a bit more for operational capital, so really smart capital, and also saying that we have a very long-term view. We don't have a fund structure. We have very much a corporate structure. We acquire companies. We have a long-term view on how to create cash flows. And really, that's what companies like. So some of them say, we do an ICO. Now, big things these days. Others say, we're going to go for VC funding. And then also another part says, we want to really have a long-term partner and a group, Trybe group, that we can emerge into and really be rather a single product company, be a multi-product company, and how we can work with the entire platform of Trybe to digitize at origin and kind of converge into this new type of financial services.
And when you look across the ASEAN region today, which I know you're focusing on predominantly, what market presents the best opportunity for you to find these companies and to develop this platform?
Yeah, I mean, financial inclusion is a big topic these days. You have on one hand side consumers, middle class, all have smartphones, digital savvy, all on social media all the time. But at the same time, financial services is still yet really underserving these classes. 70% of ASEAN consumers and SMEs are still underserved by the banks. So you can go to Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, you name it, and you really always find where there's a strong need for technology to digitize the lending part. So it's all microcredit, as you say, trade credit, SME credit. We have key areas, but we also look at other things. But that's where I think Southeast Asian consumers and SMEs are looking for technology digitally to really access financial services. So we work a lot in Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, have strong partners on the ground that really partner with us to deploy technology in these different networks.